12 minutes after 8. This is On the Island on CBC Radio 1, 104.5 FM in Campbell River, and on the CBC Listen app. Well, Monday's federal election saw that the Conservatives elect 3 MPs here on Vancouver Island. That includes North Island Powell River, which New Democrat MP Rachel Blaney had held for the last 10 years. That changed this week when the riding flipped in favor of the Conservatives. And for more on the victory, we're joined by Aaron Gunn, who is the Conservative MP-elect in North Island Powell River riding. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning, Gregor. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Congratulations. How are you feeling about the win?
Well, it's a weight off the shoulders, that's for sure, and I'm still a little tired, but looking forward to going to Ottawa to represent my constituents, that's for sure.
And how do you contrast it with the federal results overall, with the Conservatives having a good showing but still coming up short to the Liberals? How do you contrast your own success with falling short nationally?
Yeah, it's mixed feelings. I mean, I think if you were looking at the polls before Election Day, you would actually be pretty happy with the Conservative result. We definitely overperformed our polls. We held the Liberals to a minority in a very challenging kind of political context. But, yeah, we did. Obviously, the old saying is the best day in opposition is worse than the worst day in government, I think it goes. And I think that it would obviously have been great to win so we could put our plan forward to bring some change to Canada, but we'll have to do it from the opposition benches for now.
And so what conversations are you having then with the party as you get set to head to Ottawa and be sworn in as MP?
Well, they left me alone yesterday, and I think today is the fire hose of information is just starting to come down the pipe. So just logistics and sorting everything out and everything that comes along with orientation as a new member of Parliament. So it's all new to me, and we'll find out how this process works, I guess, over the next couple of weeks.
It was a pretty tight race in a number of island ridings. What do you think helped you and your 2 Conservative colleagues win and clinch those 3 ridings?
Well, I know speaking for myself and probably for Jeff and Tamara as well, we just tried to talk and focus the campaign on the issues that we were hearing at the doorstep. So concerns around affordability. Obviously, the price of homes have doubled in most of Vancouver Island over the past 10 years. Concerns surrounding public safety. That was very resonant for me in downtown Campbell River, downtown Courtenay. Again, I think Tamara heard that a lot in Nanaimo. Concerns around the decriminalization of hard drugs that the federal government pursued, obviously in partnership with the provincial government here in BC. And finally, I think the people looking for more support for our resource sector, especially when I got up north, places like Port Hardy and Port McNeill, that have kind of felt the resource sector has been left behind, whether it's forestry, fishing, or mining.
And of course, our parliamentary system in the House of Commons is adversarial. I mean, it's the constitutional duty, as Pierre Poilievre said, to oppose. But I wonder, in a minority parliament, Aaron, if you see any potential for cooperation between Conservatives and Liberals, whether it's on resources, Mark Carney's talked about this east-west corridor, or on addressing the unaffordability crisis in housing, especially for young people, with Carney talking about doubling the rate of home construction. Do you see any areas of common ground?
I think the main area of common ground has to be, there's the old saying, I'm going to butcher it here, but, the politics has to stop at our border. So when it comes to dealing with some of this international chaos happening, thanks to down in the United States, I think hopefully we can have a united front, all stand together as Canadians and work towards, in the context of that, some of these, for solutions to some of these problems that have existed for a while. You alluded to them, getting critical energy infrastructure built, getting rid of some of these trade and regulatory barriers between provinces that exist here in our country, and supporting our men and women in uniform to a more appropriate level. I think those are things that we could all get on the same page about.
What about Indigenous issues? I have to ask you about earlier criticism during the campaign from some First Nation leaders over comments you'd made earlier on social media around residential schools. What's your response to that, and how do you hope to have a constructive relation with some of the Indigenous constituents you'll represent?
Yeah, we're going to get out. I mean, I already have we already have a good amount of support in many of these First Nation communities. They're really tied to the resource sector as well, particularly here in the North Island. In a lot of these remote communities, the only gig in town are resource sector jobs. So as we did during the campaign, Although we're not looking to relitigate social media posts from 6 years ago, especially now that the election is over. Of course, if anybody's got concerns, and whether you voted for me or not, I'm always got an open door policy to have those conversations. When you're elected, at least from my perspective, you're elected not just to serve those that voted for you. You're elected to serve everybody in your riding, whether they voted for you, didn't vote for you, didn't vote at all. And so obviously when it comes to Indigenous individuals, and I think it's about 15% of my riding, we're going to make sure that we're out visiting every corner of from Port Hardy down to Texada Island, over to Gold River to have the conversations that need to be had.
On that point of representing people who didn't vote for you, I mean, I think I could probably ask this of hundreds of members of parliament across the country. But if I look at the results from Powell River, North Island, you're riding, you won, but you got a plurality of still less than 50%. So how do you hope to do that? And again, I could ask this of so many others, but how, in your case, how do you hope to represent the more than 50% of people who voted for somebody else?
Well, I've never done this before, so we'll see. We'll see how it'll be a bit of a learning process. But I think the big thing is to have an open door policy. Obviously, we got to set up our constituency offices and things like that. And you just have to, there's the old saying that God gave everybody one mouth and two ears for a reason, right? To listen more than you talk. And I think that's something that I plan to do as a member of Parliament, to get to hear the concerns and the priorities from the people that live here, and then to take those to Ottawa and use kind of the big voice and megaphone that I've developed over the years through social media to make sure that, Ottawa's 3,000 miles away, to make sure they're hearing about what matters in the riding of North Island Powell River.
Wait, just before we let you go, I want to ask you about the bigger Conservative picture. Pierre Poilievre delivered results that haven't been seen for the Conservatives since the 1980s. But on the other hand, he didn't win his own riding. What do you think that will mean for the future of the party, but the immediate future in the House of Commons, without having your leader in the House of Commons benches with you?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. It's a bit of a bizarre scenario, but I do think Pierre did a fantastic job. You alluded to it. It was the best performance for a Conservative Party since the 1980s, I believe over 41% of the vote. And I think he and the party will be just fine. I'm sure they're just sorting out how they would like to move forward at this point. But I don't have any inside information on that or anything. But I think that he will be fine and our party will be fine. And I'm sure he'll be back in the House of Commons.
The speculation is that he'll have to find a Conservative to essentially fall on their sword, give up the seat they've just won so that he can run in a by-election. But that would be a tough sales job for somebody who's just worked hard for months or even years to win a seat, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I imagine it would be. I remember something similar happened, I think, with Christy Clark maybe 10 years ago or 12 years ago. I guess it was a bit different because they had won the election and she had lost her seat. So I'm not privy to the conversations that are being had, but I'm very confident that it will work itself out. And
you're confident that you are going to be the MP for Powell River, North Island, or maybe I'm mixing it up, but you're going to be the North Island Powell River MP for some time to come.
Yeah. No, I haven't got a call from Pierre that he's looking to move over to Campbell River. So I don't think that will be in the cards.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks for joining us. I know it's been a busy week with not a lot of sleep. Thanks for taking our call.
Thank you so much for your time.
Aaron Gunn is the Conservative MP-elect in the North Island Powell River riding. Now that I've completed the interview, I've got the name of the riding straight. Probably should have had that done beforehand. North Island Powell River is the correct order. And we have heard from a number of incoming MPs from both the Conservatives and Liberals. We've heard from NDP organizers. And you can follow more of our election coverage at cbc.ca/news or cbc.ca/BC. It's 21 minutes after 8. This is On the Island. We've talked a lot about tariffs over the